Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is April 1st and that means March wrap-ups. The month of March was an awesome reading month for me. I read so many more books that I'm used to. Usually I read about 2, maybe 3 novels if I'm lucky, but for the month of March I read a total of 7 novels. This did mean that I slowed down on my manga reading, but I had told you guys that I was planning on doing that anyways, and I read a total of 4 manga. So 7 novels and 4 manga, that's a lot for me. I'm super proud of myself. Thank you. Thank you. Before I get started with the wrap-up, I'm just going to say, since there's so many books, I'm not going to go into what any of them are about. I'm basically just going to show you what I read and then give you the rating, because I don't want to make this video super long. So let's just jump right into the wrap-up, shall we? I'm going to go over the manga that I read first, and then we'll move into the novels. The first manga I read in March was Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer by Satoshi Mizukami. This is a omnibus bind-up of the first 2 volumes, and I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars. For the BookTube Manga Club, we decided to go with the sci-fi genre, and what better sci-fi than the best well-known mecha, and that is Gundam: The Origin by Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. And we read this first volume here. I gave it overall a 3 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. A lot of the action scenes were really confusing, and I found myself getting lost in translation a little bit in that aspect, but the character development's really good. I also read Requiem of the Rose King by Aya Kano. This is historical fiction, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then the last manga that I read is Ore-sama Teacher by Izumi Tsubaki. Me and Sylvia from Wish Fulfillment are doing some buddy reads for some manga, and we decided to read this one. We aren't that fond of this one, so we're going ahead with another one, but I did finish this at the end of March, so I'm putting it in the wrap-up. I ended up giving this one 3 out of 5 stars. Now to move on to all of the novels. As you all know, my book club had been reading the Seven Realms series by Cinda Williams Chima, and we finally finished The Grey Wolf Throne, which is book 3 in the series, and I managed to convince them to let us continue and basically finish the entire series. The slow pace we were doing before, we ended up reading an entire book in the course of a week, which then goes into the next book that I finished in March, which was The Crimson Crown by Cinda Williams Chima. This is the 4th and final book in the Seven Realms series, and this was my absolute favorite out of all of them. By the way, I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. Also gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. Amazing ending. And I just have to say that because of this book, I now enjoy audiobooks way more. Let me explain. So I was so into this book, I didn't want to ever put it down, that there was a point when I had to put the book down to make dinner, and I was like, no, I am not stopping, but I had to make dinner. So I ended up purchasing the audiobook and enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would, and absolutely flew through this book. Because of it, I am now addicted to audiobooks, and I have about 4 that I've downloaded and then I'm in the middle of listening to, and I will go over that when we go over my TBR. I then felt like a romancy book, so I picked up Shades of Milk and Honey by Mary Robinette Kowal, and I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. And when I say it is like Jane Austen meets fantasy, it is exactly that. If that intrigues you, go pick it up. I then read Ignite by Sarah B. Larson. This is the 2nd book in the Defy series, trilogy. I have no idea what it's supposed to be. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely thought that the sequel upped the ante in the series, and I was so happy with the continuation, and I cannot wait till the next book. I read so many books that I was already planning to on my TBR, and I'm really happy about it. The next one that I finally finished is The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead. This is the 6th and final book in the Vampire Academy series, and I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book, probably more than any of the other books in the series. I don't know, I really enjoyed book 1, but it was super short, and this was really long, very action-packed, really good ending to the series, and I can't wait to get into the Bloodline series. The very first book that I finished in March was actually The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 2 in the Mistborn trilogy, and I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. If I could give this more than 5 out of 5 stars, I would give this the world. I love books that make you guess things the entire time, and there's something in here that I was trying to guess, and it is not what you think it is. You think you know, but it's not, and this ending of this book was such a shocker. This series deserves all the hype it's been getting, and if you like fantasy, this is definitely a must-read for you. And because I enjoyed the ending to that one, I immediately picked up the next book, which is The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson. This is the third and final book, and I actually read this along with listening to the audiobook. It's how I finished this book so quickly, because I would read physically when I had time, and I finally discovered the joy of listening to the audiobooks as I'm driving to and from work, which is about a 20-minute drive every time. 20 minutes back and forth is a good 40 minutes every day that I'm listening to the book. And it has definitely helped increase my reading habit for this month, and I'm definitely continuing audiobooks. Like I said, I'm in the middle of 4 of them, and we will go over those later, but I am definitely obsessed. That, and I actually really like listening to audiobooks when I go jogging, which I didn't think I would like because I like fast-paced things while I'm trying to run, but absolutely loved listening to this. 5 out of 5. 5 very big stars. Yes. That was all for my wrap up. What did you guys read in the month of March? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys later. Bye!